Welcome to Manchester United Daily Updates. It's official. Man United suffer worst ever start in Premier League history. The Red Devils played out a 0-0 draw against Aston Villa on Sunday afternoon, meaning they have picked up just 8 points from their opening 7 league matches this campaign. That is their worst ever tally since the Premier League began in 1992, with Erik Ten Hag breaking his own record after amassing just 9 points in the first 7 league games last year. They are now 14th in the Premier League table, 5 points clear of the relegation zone and 6 points behind Chelsea in 4th place. Furthermore, Man United have scored just 5 league goals so far in 2024-25, with only Southampton, 4, scoring fewer. The Red Devils are also winless in their last 5 matches in all competitions, while they have only recorded 10 victories in 26 games since the start of March. Erik Ten Hag is under immense pressure and he could be sacked during the upcoming October international break. Ruud van Nistelrooy is the favourite to replace the current Man United boss, and Football Transfers understands that he is set to take over by 2026 at the latest. What has Erik Ten Hag said? Ahead of Man United's draw against Porto on Thursday, Ten Hag told Sky Sports, "We are going to make a success from the season. Nothing is easy, but this is nothing for me to panic about. We can sort the problems out. This team can sort this out. I'm not thinking about it being sacked. I'm not anxious. We created a togetherness in the summer with the ownership and the leadership. We made this agreement, and we were all behind it. We know the strategy is to bring in young players in a transition period. They also know in May in all my last 6 seasons there were always trophies, and that is what we are aiming for." Erik Ten Hag sends message to Red Devils Chiefs after Gary Neville call. Erik Ten Hag is a man under real pressure and a decision on his future could come very soon. The Dutchman has led Manchester United to their worst ever start of the Premier League era, with that run continuing at the weekend. The Red Devils slumped to a miserable 0-0 draw against Aston Villa in the West Midlands. It means that Ten Hag failed to earn a victory across what was billed to be a key week for the former Ajax boss. It also leaves United sitting in a lowly 14th in the table at this early stage, with just winless Southampton having scored fewer than the Red Devils' 5 league goals. Ten Hag now has some time to mull things over, with members of his squad expected to jet off to all corners of the globe for the upcoming international break. Take a look at all of the headlines coming out of Old Trafford. Ten Hag fires message. Erik Ten Hag insists he and the United hierarchy remain on the same page despite the club appearing to be in crisis. Speaking after Sunday's draw with Aston Villa, he said, "We always speak, every week we speak. We are all on board together, on one page, we know what we are working through. It's a long-term process. We have come through 2 very tough away games. This is a team, we showed the belief and faith we have." Sir Jim Ratcliffe and his Red Devils colleagues were all in attendance at Villa Park on Sunday. Ten Hag has just under 2 years remaining on the contract that he signed in the summer. Gary Neville believes that the international break would give club chiefs a perfect opportunity to make a managerial change should they want to sack Erik Ten Hag. Speaking before Sunday's draw, the ex-Red Devil said, "I think we all know that obviously clubs do reassess during international breaks, and I think what's happened in the last week. Anyone who was in Old Trafford last week, for the defeat against Tottenham, I don't think you even need to be in the stadium to recognise that it felt like a monumental day." Despite that, Neville believes that the club could choose to retain Ten Hag. He added, "But one thing's for certain, when you speak to people around the club, they don't want to make that decision. They want to try and be different and get through this difficult time. It is their first time in this situation, and they've got a lot of evidence over the last 10 years of how to do it and how not to do it, and I suppose at this moment in time." Paul Scholes has bemoaned Manchester United's recruitment mess under Erik Ten Hag and outlined his concerns about summer signing Joshua Zirkzee in the wake of the side's goalless stalemate with Aston Villa. The Red Devils headed to Villa Park in need of a strong performance on the back of a miserable start to the season both domestically and in Europe, with Ten Hag's men held to a 3-3 draw by Porto in midweek. But a much-changed United team struggled to create clear-cut chances, and Bruno Fernandes came closest for the visitors with a free kick which struck the crossbar. United later wasted a golden opportunity to break the deadlock in stoppage time, only for Alejandro Garnacho to fluff his pass to Fernandes, who was clean through on goal after a rapid counter-attack. The result leaves the Old Trafford Giants stranded down in 14th place in the Premier League table, a position Dimitar Berbatov feels is unbelievable for a club of United's stature. Legendary ex-United and England midfielder Scholes, meanwhile, never truly believed his former team were going to Villa with the sole intention of winning the game. "It's a point for United, going to a tough ground under a lot of pressure," Scholes said in the SuperSport studio shortly after the final whistle. "I never really felt like they went there to try and win the game. It was more of a survival tactic more than anything. But from everything we've said before the game, United were quite tough to play against today, and you have to take into account the midweek fixtures. Villa had a big lift from Bayern Munich, winning that game, big atmosphere, and they struggled to really live up that today. You could see they probably suffered a bit. For Manchester United, it's difficult to go away in Europe on Thursday night, and it was a tough game against Porto with 10 men for some of the game, so I think the game probably reflected the midweek that both clubs had. 3 of United's high-profile summer signings started on the bench versus Villa, with Manuel Ugarte, Matthijs de Ligt and Zirkzee all left out of Ten Hag's starting 11. According to Scholes, the situation just sums up United's seemingly directionless recruitment after a ridiculous amount of spending in recent years. "In forward areas especially, I just don't think the quality is there," he added. "We go back to the most successful teams, they're capable of scoring goals. What have we scored?" Thanks for watching, please like and subscribe.